raining support at the moment, isn't it?
Because I got a big seat over here, you see.
Okay, that was a little bit chaotic, wasn't it?
Never mind.
Alright, welcome aboard everyone. My name's Kerry and we're going for a nice little cruise down through this beautiful wetland area here in the top end of the Northern Territory. I hope you all can hear me okay. I don't want to put the fear into you at all, but I've got to tell you about our safety procedures here. There are life jackets up here all lined along up the top, these yellow ones. We've never used them, we're not going to use them today, neither I hope. There's some life rings here up beside me, here on my left. There's water here as well, there's fire extinguisher, there's a first aid kit. So if you need a drink of water during the trip, just make your way up the back and get yourself a drink. Not that there's much room to move around today, but you can stand up, of course, once we get going and spot something. If we do come across something quite interesting, I know everyone will want to take a photograph of it, so those up the front, get your photographs in and then try and sit down as quickly as you can, so other people have got the opportunity to get a picture as well. And we can all go back home with some lovely shots of what we see here today. Now, this isn't yellow water yet. We're in a billabong we call home billabong. This is on the Jim Creek system, which is a tributary of the South Alligator River. We use this loading facility we just got on here during the wet season. We'll be driving past our dry season facility. It's still got a fair bit of water down there. The car park's still flooded, so we've got to use this one up here at this time of year. And that gives you the opportunity to see just a little bit more of the wetlands here in Kakadu. We'll be driving down the end of Home Billabong down here now. We're going to go through a very narrow section, through the trees. It's a little bit of fun, beautiful scenery. And then we'll pop out onto the yellow water billabong where this tour gets its name from. And we'll be then moving on to the South Alligator River itself. Not that it makes much difference, all the waterways look very similar here because it's all calm, still water. Now we don't have any alligators in Australia, of course, only crocodiles. But we've got 3 alligator rivers. They were named by a surveyor who came through this country back in the early 1980s and saw these big lizards sunbaking on the banks and cruising around the rivers, and he thought they were alligators and named the east, the south and the west alligators after them. Took quite a while, decades actually, before they realised that he'd made a mistake. So we're stuck with these alligator rivers with no alligators. But hopefully we'll see a couple of crocodiles today. I can't guarantee it. There's still a lot of water here. We've just coming out of our wet season. We had a very wet Easter here. And the flood levels are still dropping. And the crocodiles have got plenty of water to move around on. And they tend to be getting up underneath the trees here and proving to be a little bit difficult to spot. But look at this beautiful scenery here, look at this gorgeous water. You can drink this stuff, you do, when you're at Kawinda. Beautiful fresh water. There's virtually no humans living upstream from here. And along the edges here, you've got these beautiful big trees there, melaleucas, or your paper bark trees we call them. You can notice the bark on them if you have a close look, it's quite papery. And those bright green plants are pandanus. Pandanus aquaticus, the water pandanus. Grows quite commonly along the edges of these freshwater waterways up here. Underneath us, lots of different fish, turtles. You even get saltwater stuff up here, occasional shark, stingrays, sawfish, that type of thing. They come up into the freshwater. But mostly freshwater varieties, of course. down the channel curve. We've got a bit of narrow waterway to get through here, so all you people on the outside, be very, very careful. I want you all to keep your eyes to the front. Watch out for branches that are coming your way. I don't want to get any problems with your eyes or losing glasses or cameras or anything like that, so please look forward and concentrate on what's coming up in front of you, because it's a very narrow section of the system here. Boats have gone in here and disappeared, never come out again. And with a full boat, it's going to be very difficult to control. A lot of weight. So make sure you keep looking forward, watch those branches. I can't dodge them all, I'll have a good go. Oh, right. Even you people at the back, you've got to look forward too, because the back of the boat swings around. People on the right now, be careful. Now you people on the left. Didn't do too bad, did we?
No.
Yeah.
What sort of draft
I'll have
is
to
it?
look for something else to crash into. Hang on. Some of these old paperbark trees are extremely ancient. The one straight ahead, the big one in the distance, the third one in the distance there, they did a core sample of that one a few years back, and they say it's over 500 years old. So it's seen 500 floods. You can see the bark's all battered and damaged from debris coming down and getting it. How are they going to fit through here? Oh my Lord. You people on the right again, be very careful. I'm going to be getting close to that vegetation. And the left. That's our fishing boat. Yes, take people out on fishing trips. One more boat. One more. Yeah. Okay, I haven't been doing much chatting, it's a bit concentrated mainly. A couple of egrets out to the right here. White birds, you'll see plenty of those. They're a very successful bird out of these wetlands. All this grass that we see growing here, it's actually floating on the water, you've probably gathered that by now. It's got a followed up root system, and as the flood levels rise and drop, it just goes up and down with the water level. In the dry season, when the water drains off the floodplains, a lot of this grass is sitting on the ground. The rest of the year it's sitting up on top of the water. And you people up the front, if you spot something that I don't see, just let us all know. The eyes in amongst the low-level branches of these trees, you might see a beautiful kingfisher, a bright blue bird, with a white front or a brown front. Up in the tops of the trees, you might see a big seagull or a hawk or a kite. Down at water level, you might see down low on the branches, you might see a bird with its wings out, drying itself. That's probably a cormorant or a darter. Hopefully we'll see all these things on our way out, our way around today. Okay, this is our dry season loading facility here in front of us. You've probably gathered that by now. As you can see, there's still a fair bit of water down here, and the car park down here is still full of water. So we won't be using it for another few days yet, but the public won't be able to drive down here. We'll just have to bring high clearance vehicles down to drive through the water and get onto these boats. That boardwalk over there, the loading ramp, is normally horizontal in the dry season, so it's got about a metre or so to go down yet before we metre and a half even before it's down to the dry season levels. And this is yellow water billabong. This is what the tour is named after. And this is still part of the Jim Jim Creek tributary of the South Alligator River. And we're opening out now onto the floodplains of the South Alligator River. Someone's pointing to the sky. Got a little rainbow beaver swinging out to the right there. Beautiful coloured little bird. Very aerobatic. To give you some idea of the flood levels here, see those green poles that the pontoons slide up and down, and they've got a big collar around them so the pontoon can just rise and fall with the floodwaters. Well, in 2007 those pontoons floated off the top of those poles. And that was an excessive flood, an unusual flood. All the staff at Coenda had to be evacuated. It was a big rain event that year. Now, as we cruise around here, as you've already seen, this is a very lush, fertile area, and that's what wetlands are. They're nutrient sinks. They are areas where nutrients congregate, and they create a huge amount of food, which then becomes the source of all this wildlife that comes down here. They're not here to watch tourists go by. They're down here to get a feed. What happens every time it floods, just like we just had this rain event over Easter and the floods came up, every time it floods, the nutrients from upstream all come down on the floodwaters. That floodwater spreads out over this huge wetland area, the floodplain system of the South Alligator River, and the velocity drops right down and all the nutrients drop out. And it fertilises the place. So every wet season this place gets a really good dose of natural organic fertiliser. Yeah, there's a darter up there in the tree. We won't stop because the others have got it first, but we'll find another one. They're quite a common bird. There it goes. Lucky we didn't go in, we would have been wasting our time. So yes, all this food here, from all this fertilising, all the what's that? That's a whistling kite up on your top left. I'll talk clock terms here. That's at 10 o'clock at the moment. 12 o'clock straight ahead. 3 o'clock's out to the right. So here, all this food creates a huge ecosystem here. Complete food chain. Everything from microscopic little marine creatures right up to the big saltwater crocodile and everything in between. Rainbow beavers going around us everywhere here. Out to the right. On to something else. Big sea eagle. People on the left will be able to see it. What I'll do is swing around. So the people on the other side, we'll do a couple of circles, let this other boat get past. So we call this, the local Aboriginal people call this bird Mudawudi, but it's a white-bellied seagull. Mudawudi is named the local people, and I haven't introduced them yet, but I will, to take the spirit of the dead people to the stars. It's a very important bird in their stories. It's a very graceful bird. I'll let this boat go past, then we'll cut in behind him and people get another look at him. It's a whistling kite having a whistle there now. So I'll introduce the local people to you. This land is owned by the Mudawudi clan, local Aboriginal people. Beautiful bit of real estate. And we can be very thankful to the Mudawidi people for allowing us to visit their land quite freely. In fact, the lady driving that boat. No, it's not the one. The one who was greeting you, the dark lady who was greeting you, she's a Burumbur lady. And this is magnificent real estate. And it's a very generous gesture of these people to allow us to come and visit their land and use it like this. They're very, very generous people. And we can be very thankful for that. I think if this was owned by some big millionaire, they'd probably close the place off. Stop the public coming in. These local people are very, very sharing, and that's a part of their culture, is sharing. So people on the left, you get another view as we go past. This is the second largest bird of prey in Australia. It's quite widespread. A lot of people don't see it. You only find it around coastal areas or areas where there's a lot of water. And it's a magnificent bird, beautiful plumage on it, and very, very graceful flyer and a beautiful glider. They've got quite a heavy body and a small tail, so when they glide, their body hangs low and their wings curve right up, and they are magnificent in flight. Now this mob must be onto something, so we'll just have to hang back. This is all flood debris on the branches on these trees and everything. That's all just all hanging off the trees. That's from the floods that come down. Oh, there's some ducks over there. That's probably what they're looking at. Underneath the trees to the right, 3 o'clock, big stack of what we call whistling ducks. A little bit far off to get a real good view of them. There's some more coming up in view, or right along the water's edge on your right, 3 o'clock. There you plumed whistling duck, excuse me. And we're just about to hit the South Alligator River here. This waterway in front of us. It's the South Alligator River. We'll go downstream, see if they're going upstream. And this is the main watercourse in Kakadu. Its entire catchment, except for a tiny little piece, is entirely within the Kakadu National Park. So it's a very pristine river. Virtually no modification to the catchment, and virtually no people living in the catchment. So this is a very remarkable piece of water. Not many rivers in the world are pristine like this one. There's another egret on our left. And all out there on our left and right, all that grass has got water underneath it. And the reason there's not a huge amount of bird life here at the moment, like if you came here in the dry season, there's bird life everywhere, lots of wading birds. The water out in the floodplains is still a little bit deep for the wading birds. There's a few egret out to the right. But most of our wading birds are somewhere else at the moment, but they'll come back as the water levels drop. And you get thousands of magpie geese and ducks, and there's an ibis cruising around. It's Australian white ibis going out to the right. And you get jabiru, which is our stork, a couple of egrets going through, they're little egrets. And brolgas, which is a member of the crane family. See fish bubbling on the water here. These waters are alive with fish and food. And the crocodiles, of course. The crocodiles, difficult to see today, but they're here, don't you worry. There's been a few watching us go by that we didn't notice. Tucked in underneath these trees. And they eat a lot of fish. Fish is their favourite diet. They will eat wallabies and pigs and things like that that come down to the water's edge to drink. But they rather eat a fish. Now the Montmore people, they've been on this land for a long, long time. In fact, Aboriginal occupation of this part of Australia is thought to be in the vicinity of 60 to 65,000 years. And that's a long, long time. It's the longest successful system of living on the planet. And if us white people hadn't turned up here over 200 years ago, they'd be still ticking along perfectly. They had a system of living that allowed them to survive 60,000 years. And I don't think our system's going to last 60,000 years. Not even going to last 6, I don't think. Sad, isn't it? But these people, they had everything all worked out. We might think that they were primitive, but they were very, very advanced in the way they functioned. They had everything sorted out. We're a bit slow, us other occupiers of this world. We've got a massively increasing population, whereas the Aboriginal people had a stable population. They had a system of law in which was embedded a huge amount of conservation rules and regulations, hunting arrangements that allow for sustainable living. They had a marriage arrangement that 100% mixed the genetics. The most remarkable thing you can imagine. A very complex breeding arrangement, not based on love unfortunately, but just based on mixing blood. You don't survive for 60,000 years on weak genetics. So they had everything sorted out, these people. They went through a couple of ice ages, huge modifications of their landscape, but they adapted and they always maintained a balance with the landscape. Hunters and gatherers, it's the purest form of living. You have to be in balance to be a successful hunter and gatherer. But as soon as different hunting and gathering groups around the world changed to farming and husbanding animals, then immediately they were out of balance. Just slightly, and eventually it's going to tip the whole show over. Then people were more wealthy than others, had more things than others. Under the Aboriginal system, everyone shared. This is what the Montmore people are doing with us right now, sharing their country. So we're heading downstream now, South Alligator River. Not too far down here, we have to turn around. And not far beyond that is tidal. We're only barely above sea level here. Hard to imagine, isn't it? We're over 100 kilometres from the ocean. The tides, these floodplains are just so flat, the tides come inland a huge distance. And there's a very, very delicate interface between the upper tidal areas and these freshwater wetland areas. But unfortunately, because of our activities on this planet, global warming and rising sea levels, it's only a matter of time before the salt comes into this. It's a horrific thought, because everything you see here, every bit of greenery you see here will be dead. The salt comes in, and the salt will come in. So, I don't think we can turn things around quick enough. Well, there's a female darter. Pull up. Slowly. Brakes don't work very well with the poor boat. Now this bird is a real character. Just coming up on my left here at 9 o'clock. This is a female darter. I know that because she's got a white front. Males have got a black front. And what she's doing here now is dipping into the water and disappearing so we can't see her. Hopefully we'll find another one. You saw that long neck, you saw that very sharp beak. Well, she'll swim around underneath the water there and spearfish. She uses a long neck as a slingshot and a sharp beak as a spear, and she actually spears the fish. And they're very good at it. But they don't put much oil on their feathers like most birds do, so they're not very waterproof. They do that on purpose so they can get a bit soggy and heavy and stay under the water easier. And they have to come out and sunbake and dry their wings out like she was doing just as we spotted her. Rather a comical show when she spears a fish though, because it's stuck on the front of the face and she has to get it off. Oh, there's another one. Oh yeah, it's the water's running out. Yes, and they have a lot of difficulty getting the fish off their beak because their beak's got little serrations on it. And they have to flick it just exactly right and catch it before it disappears again, and then turn it around head first and swallow it. Can be a bit of a drama at times because a lot of other birds try and steal it off them while they're trying to dislodge it off their beak. It all looks sinister country down here, doesn't it? There's crocodiles watching us. There's a big fella lives down here somewhere. Hopefully he'll be out and about. Not real big, it's about 4 metres and that's big enough. This time of the year the water's quite warm, so they don't need to sunbake. Crocodiles are a reptile, they have to keep the Here's a greater egret on our left hand side. These are our largest egrets. They glossy ibis, 2 glossy ibis behind it, those dark birds. 3 glossy ibis, 1 on the wing. Beautiful bird, those glossy ibis, got a very shiny feather, sort of a bronzy colour when the sun gets on it. Now these crocodiles here, they have to keep their blood temperature around their brain at a very precise range of temperature. It's only about a 5-degree variation. And so they have to spend a lot of effort keeping their blood temperatures right. So if it's a hot day, they need to be cooling off. If the water's cold and it's a cool day, they need to be warming up. And that very much affects how they behave, and when the water's warm like this, they can generally stay in the water longer and not have to get out on the bank and sunbake where they're easy to see. So on days like this they're probably in the shade somewhere, tucked up underneath these trees. Can we see? Oh, there's another sea. That's a young one, that one. Juvenile. See him on the horizontal branch opposite me now, 9 o'clock. I don't think it's a whistling kite. It's too big. Yeah, that's it. Little pied heron behind the tree there. There's an egret closest, then behind it is a pied heron. There's a big croc lives around here somewhere. We're going to be lucky to see him this time of the day. We can't go much further. The sign down here is the limiters of where we can go. There's a white heron just took off. Another darter straight ahead, 12 o'clock, drying its wings. Just right on the water's edge. Yeah, we'll have to turn around now. I'm just going to nose in the bank and swing the tail around a bit. Well, we'll head upstream now and look up there. These lilies beside us has been asked once of their tall leaves. They're the lotus lilies, pink lotus lilies. You might have seen pictures of people from Southeast Asia harvesting them. They're the same family of lily, grows commonly through this country. Beautiful big pink flowers. The lotus family of lily all have their leaves above the water, whereas the standard water lilies have their leaves sitting on the surface of the water. I don't know where you all live, but I can assure you, if you've got wetlands around your area, you need to protect them. Do whatever you can to protect them. Stand in front of a bulldozer and protect them, because they're very, very important places. They're a source of life for a huge amount of creatures, and it's a healthy environment. And unfortunately around the world, especially here in Australia, we've wrecked a lot of our wetlands. Just through ignorance mainly. A lot of the early settlers, they drained the wetlands, they filled them in, they caused damage by chemical pollution, and also by over-clearing the catchments and creating a rise in salt levels, which has killed all the vegetation. And all down the east coast of Australia, there's sugarcane plantations, dairy farms, etc., on areas that used to be like this. That's really sad. We haven't got that population up here in the top end of the north. That's the problem up at the top of the Northern Territory, because we haven't got the population. We haven't got the agriculture. We haven't got any industry as such. We've got 130,000 people living in Darwin. They're quite concentrated there. Few mango plantations, not a lot. A little bit of industry on Darwin Harbour, not a lot. And the rest of the place is in really good condition. And that's a good thing. Nature can do its little thing and keep the whole environment healthy. So if you've got wetlands near you, do whatever you can to protect them. Don't let any government or council or developer wreck the things. to get this ice water off the back here. Feeling thirsty? Plastic cups in a dispenser. Up in the tree on your left. Creek, that's Union Creek on the left. New territory first. You see the lotus lily leaves and trunks all dead. That's because they've been inundated. Recent flood, no recover, or they'll remain dead of course, but I'll send new ones up soon. And they're quite a show when they're in bloom. Beautiful big pink flowers, lovely big bright green leaves. Unfortunately, not big crash.
ค่ะ